Good afternoon, good evening, everyone.
Purple Valkyrie, you are worthy.
Oh,
Legacy of
much
Kain.
Legacy of Kain. How much do I love that intro? Thank you.
You are welcome. That was fun. It was fun putting that together.
Legacy of Kain, yes!
The whole time in my mind, I'm hearing, Raziel, you are worthy. Tony Jaa. Doing the you are worthy thing from, yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
So cool. Let's say hello to everyone before we jump into it. Thank you guys for joining us. So, first of all, good evening, Loki. Thank you for joining me as co-host tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.
And we have got Chris Persia. Hello, love. Mark the Infinitely Tired. Good evening, good afternoon. Let me scroll down. Rob Pearson. Good afternoon. And absolutely.
Yes, chaos and havoc. Yes, and mischief, chaos, and havoc. Yes,
all in a day's work. Just,
yes.
Just Racine, Colin P. Smith. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining us. Psychodwarf, Eponymous Minion. Hello, sweetheart. Thank you. How is everyone tonight? Yes, posh. Thank you, Chris. Gotta be done.
Caramel.
Oh my gosh, you said it.
Caramel? Is that caramel?
Exactly.
Caramel.
Nailed it. Because you guys say caramel.
Yeah, caramel. It's caramel. It's caramel. Yeah, caramels, caramel. Yes. Oh no! I'm being invaded by Peter Whalen. No, stay away, Peter.
No, Peter, not today. We're talking vampires.
Yeah.
So, you guys are probably wondering why I decided to do this. Loki is the only other person that I know that loves these games as much as I do.
Shit, man. From the original Blood Omen, I remember when I played it thinking this is like a Diablo wannabe. And then oh, that's so sad. Yeah, caramels. Yum. But that it was like a Diablo ripoff. But then I played Soul Reaver and I was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, man, I was blown away. Both games were innovative. The first game I remember had a lot of movie to it, like over 30 minutes of movie.
It did, and considering it came out in 1996, it was a long game. There's a more than 50 hours gameplay if you do it properly.
Yeah.
So you definitely got your money's worth for it. And as you say, they had dedicated cinematics to kind of push the story along.
Yeah, and then you got Soul Reaver, which had a engine that didn't. It was like there were like almost no loading times because of the way the engine worked, and it was just like holy shit. The only time you loaded in and out was when you loaded up the game.
Yes, and it also was kind of pioneering in that it flipped realities. I don't think before that there's been another game that's kind of used that dynamic to kind of go from one realm to the other almost instantaneously.
Yeah, like a twisted different version of the same place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And huge thank you to PS for the tip. I've just got to open up stream elements. I will get back to you in a minute. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. While we're talking, I did a little slideshow to kind of give people an idea of what the games look like. So if I get that started, you guys, as we talk, can kind of see what the games look like. So as we get it started, Blood Omen, obviously, was the very first game. And that is our protagonist, or antagonist, would you call him, Loki?
Kain, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always love that view. That's like the item view. Yeah.
Yes, and as you say, top-down looking game, very much like the Diablo and the Baldur's Gate
Yep.
Took a little bit of getting used to if you've never played those sort of games before, because it's quite rough, especially if you try and pick it up nowadays. I don't think people would really enjoy it. But I
go
loved
back
it
and
for the
play it.
story.
I still go back and play it every once in a while. I do the same thing with Soul Reaver.
Do you?
Yeah, Soul Reaver and that the original and Soul Reaver are the only ones I do that with. I never went back and played Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen 2, or Defiance a second time. But the original Soul Reaver, because of the lieutenant fights, I loved the lieutenant fights, and the original for the story. I love the first two. I really do.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna admit, I loved the boss fights. I think it's because they were all so different. They really went out of their way to kind of use the environments, so they weren't just basically kind of hack and slash, taking out the bad guy. You had to kind of think and kind of figure out how you're going to take this boss out without getting killed yourself. And I think, as you said, one of the big things that people kind of gravitate towards with this series is the story, I think. And the artwork. I love the artwork. Some of these are going into the older games.
I remember arguing with a friend who played these and telling him, don't you get that Raziel is the Soul Reaver?
Mm-hmm.
The blade, the soul that's in that sword is Raziel's soul. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. And it was like how much you could miss if you weren't like if you just played the game. If you sat down and you played the game, you didn't really pay any attention, you could miss all this stuff. You could miss all these things that were so important. But it was like, if you paid attention, you got this giant amount of lore. There was this huge amount of lore in the game.
There was, especially the first couple of games, it really kind of encouraged you to kind of go off the beaten track. Even Soul Reaver, you could probably speed run it in a few hours, but if you took your time to go and find all the different kind of areas, there was so much more that you can pick up, and as you say, the backstory to kind of piece together what's happened. It was definitely very kind of fulfilling, I think. Kind of rewarded you if you did go off the beaten track, if you did go exploring.
And Justin in chat, Soul Reaver, the first game, it was like a superhero game. It's like you came back souped up and ready to kill some vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And you were, because you were like, originally you were changed into this vampire. And that's one of the things you find out as you go through Soul Reaver is you were like a vampire killer. You were this badass, kick-ass vampire hunter. And for whatever reason, when Kain resurrected you and changed you, you didn't have any memory of that. But Raziel eventually remembers this shit. And it's like, damn, that's why he's so badass.
Yes. And for the longest time, is so angry with his creator, Kain, because he thinks he's had this amazing, life before stolen from him.
Oh, you're starting something else.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Yeah. Get rid of that. But yeah, just to give you guys a kind of a feel for what the stories and the artwork looked like in the game. Which we were saying in the green room, which was the first game that you picked up, Loki?
It was Legacy of Kain, but I did like go back and play it again because it was just it came out at a time where I played through it. I was like, okay, that's cool, and I went on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I never really gave it a second thought until I played Soul Reaver, and then I was like, holy shit, that's Kain. That's Kain from that other game that I played. And I had to like go back and dig through my PS1 games, and I was like, holy shit, it is Legacy of Kain.
It is
the same dude. And I was like, I love Soul Reaver so much that I really dug into the second playthrough and through Blood Omens. And I had to play everything they came out with after that. And to me, it was weird because it was like Soul Reaver 2 it was good, but it wasn't as good. And Blood Omens 2 was fun, but it wasn't nearly as cool as the first ones. And then you play through Defiance and you're like, okay, this is better than these other games, but it's still not as good as Soul Reaver or Blood Omen 1. And then that's all you got.
Yes, which was a shame, because we'll kind of cover that a little bit later on, but the way they left the games, it left it on a cliffhanger, really.
And Defiance did better than Blood Omen 2 and Soul Reaver 2 combined. And it still didn't do good enough for them to do anything after that. And you're just like, damn, what do you all need? Give me the IP. Entrust Loki with the IP, and we will bring this back to greatness.
I would love for someone to pick the IP back up. I think the last game, Defiance, came out in 2003, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So it's been a very long time since the series had any... Sorry, just seeing what Fat Steven said.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
So it's been a very long time since the series had any kind of light shone on it. I would love to see what they did with Final Fantasy, for example. You know, a remake or even just re-release it with just the graphics kind of updated.
Yeah, update the controls, because that's the problem on PCs. The PC version is horrific with bugs and controls. You can emulate the Dreamcast version. That is the way I do it. I emulate it through the Dreamcast. I own the game on every system. So when it comes to emulation, people are like, you cheated. No, I own it. Suck it. Emulate it. Emulate the shit out of it, because the Dreamcast version looks better than the PC version. I know that's a crazy thing, but back in the day, that's the way it worked. Usually the console version looked better. And then you got to a point where it was like, no, that's not the way it is anymore. But back in the day, the console version was more streamlined, worked better.
Yes.
Today, that's insane. People, they give the rabbit, you know what? But yeah, back in the day, guys, usually the console was more streamlined and looked better than the PC version.
Looking at you, Cyberpunk. Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at you, Cyberpunk. Crazy kids. But I would love like an anthology type collection. Like, okay, we've given you a remastered, recontrolled. You don't have to like completely remake the fucking games. Just make it look better. And bring up the resolution, make it look better, cleaner. They're not going to do that. Come out with them in a pack, $60. I'd buy it. Give me all the Soul Reaver games in a pack. Read, you know, little touch-ups here and there, new control systems. I'm all in. All in.
Bring it out with a statue. I'll pay £120 for it.
Yeah. A statue, give us a statue of Razio or Kain. And yeah, we're talking 150, 160, maybe even $200. People will pay. People will pay just for the statue.
No, would absolutely. It's one of those games that I don't know what it was. I gravitated towards it. I loved the characters. I loved playing them. So much so that I've even got Kain's symbol tattooed on the back of my neck. That's how much I love these games.
Damn. Damn. You're going to have to show us that one day. You're going to have to show us, ladies and gentlemen. Tattooed on the back of your neck. That's like some Blade shit. I mean, just wait. You're gonna be walking into a meat locker with Purple one day, and you'd be like, "What are we doing here, man? Oh my god, vampires!" And she gonna like pull her bottom lip down and have a tattooed Kain symbol and a fucking tattoo on her bottom lip, like, bitch, I'm a familiar motherfucker. Oh shit. God. It's a setup. It's a trap. It's a trap.
And just as since back in the day when us console peasants were lords. Oh, I feel you.
Yes. Yeah. You were the lords of your destiny. Now that changed. It did change. You know, you get Command and Conquer and all those games, and it was like, no, you look at the PlayStation version, and now that was a thing. PlayStation was streamlined. It was, man. You had some smooth running shit where you could have some hiccupy, good looking shit on your computer. It still was hiccupy. You got some smooth operating games on consoles back then.
Oh yeah, once you had the disc in and it was reading it, you were good to go. You know, there wasn't any of this downloading the game prior to playing. You just put it in and press start and off you went.
Yep. Ooh, Parrot Head. Oh, go ahead.
Just Marcus says Purple's a hardcore gamer. I played quite a few games in my time.
Yep, a statue of Razio and Kain locked in battle.
So that I would pay good money for. I would love to see that.
Yeah, Robert Pearson, Tony Jaa, Razio, you are worthy.
That is actually one of the things that drew me into the game as well. The amazing voice actors that they got to play the characters.
That was, again, a revolutionary leap. You would have some voice acting in your video games.
Wesker, where's Chris? You don't think...
Look, Jill, this is blood. Let's walk into this room together. No, you had some damn fine voice acting in these games, and it was like, damn, you know.
Look, Wesker, it's blood. This could be Chris's blood.
But no, then you get this shit, and you're Razio, you are worthy. I struck Kain down for his insolence, and you're like, yeah.
It really is, and it's a really well-written story. In the description, I've put a link to a site that I recommend, which is a fan site, but it's got all the scripts for all of the games. And if you read, you know, some of the lines that these actors were given, it's almost Shakespearean in some parts. But the actors that they got themselves were just top-notch. As you say, Tony J. Everyone knows Tony J's voice. He did a lot of work for Disney before he passed. If anyone's seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame, his probably most famous role was Frollo. He voices the bad guy in that film.
Could you imagine being a voice actor and getting a call from your agent? Oh, a video game? Oh shit, my kid's playing that one right now, you know.
We need to go this way.
And you're like, oh, and you go in there and you're like, holy shit. Then you're looking at your script and you're like, oh my God. And you're like, I want to do this now. Yeah, you dumb bastards. It's amazing. It was another leap in video game history where you didn't have a cheesy ass script and dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a zombie. No, it was like, motherfucker, you out of your damn mind? I'm gonna cut your head off with this soul reaving blade. And Razio, especially Razio, it was Shakespearean in nature. I fell to the abyss, and I slept for millennia. Then I awoke to the sound of Razio. You are worthy. You can tell I said that over and over and over again. After I heard that, I was like, oh, I got to sound just like that guy. I have to sound just like that guy because it's perfect.
Did it very well, I've got to admit, because that is not an easy voice to copy.
No.
But you recognise Raziel's voice actor anyway, because you're such a big fan of Transformers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's Michael Bell.
Well,
Mm.
it's they had a wonderful voice cast. They had a wonderful script. There's what else can you say? It made you want to play more and hear more. This was a time when we didn't have a lot of like, oh my God, look at this cutscene. I remember playing Metal Gear 2, being like, what in the hell I'm like sitting here, but there's 2 hours of movie and 5 minutes of running around in Metal Gear Solid 2. You're watching the game. You're not playing the game. But this was like 10 years before that. So I wanted more. I wanted more dialogue. I wanted more scenes. I wanted more story. I wanted more lore.
Mm-hmm. I'd love for them to release books on the series, either actual like a chronicle of what went on, or actual kind of lore stories, a bit like its own extended universe. But obviously, I don't think that will ever happen.
No. What I want to know is there's this whole like 3,000-year gap between vampires taking over, and you get a little bit of that in Defiance, but I want that. I want all that story. I want the hunting of the vampires. I want the Seraphan versus the vampires. You got a little bit of Raziel fighting himself, and you find out that Raziel's his own killer. You're like, how the fuck does that happen? I want more.
That was a hell of a twist. When I got to that point in the game, I was like, mind blown.
And Hamlet's strategy, yeah, Thor, no, something's off. Yeah, it's always off. Don't trust the blonde muscle ever. Thor is dumb. Evil will always triumph because Thor is dumb. Did you not see Endgame and what happened? Fat Thor. Yeah, dumb, fat Thor.
Playing video games. Yeah.
Video games.
I hated that scene.
Oh yeah.
That was so dumb. But shall we kind of do a little bit of a deeper delve into Blood Omen, and then we can jump on into Soul Reaver?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
So, just to give people a little bit of backstory, so Blood Omen came out in 1996. It was originally developed by a company called Silicon Knights and published by Crystal Dynamics. A few people will probably recognize the name Crystal Dynamics, although I don't think they exist anymore.
Nope. They also came out with a couple of Final Fantasy VII games on PC.
Oh.
Which is incidentally a tie-in to why Square Enix bought them in the first place. Yes,
that is very true. I think Eidos then picked up the license, and then, as you say, Square Enix now owns them. So, and it's kind of up to Square Enix to do with what they please, can't they? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's completely owned by them now. They can do whatever they want to. They could erase canon and completely start over. Although I think that would be the biggest mistake they could possibly make. And yes, that is me opening a can. Because I'm thirsty. I have to have something to drink. It won't be good if I don't. So, yeah. Crystal Dynamics was the Avengers before Square took over. Yes.
I thought so.
And they actually sued. There was a lawsuit between Crystal Dynamics and Silicon Knights because of Soul Reaver.
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
So, if I remember correctly, was Amy Hennig involved in? If she wasn't involved much in Blood Omen, but it was Soul Reaver where she came in, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Amy Hennig was responsible for Raziel, responsible for the story, responsible for pretty much everything story-wise concerning Soul Reaver: Legacy of Kain.
Yeah, she pretty much kind of took an idea and elevated it to a much higher level.
And originally, it wasn't going to have Kain in it.
No.
Originally, this was just going to be like a vampire game, and it was the executives that were like, "Hey, we've got this IP that we own. Why don't you incorporate this into that?" And it was like, holy shit, it works perfectly.
It really did. And to see the two games, if you play them back to back, they're almost like chalk and cheese, they are completely different. One is a top-down action adventure game, which is Blood Omen. You follow Kain as he basically tries to find out who killed him, who turned him into a vampire, and he seeks revenge. That's all that's on Kain's mind. He wants revenge against those who wronged him. And then you get Soul Reaver.
A cure.
And a cure. Yes.
Cure, yeah.
Yeah. And a cure for being a vampire, which he doesn't get because
he knows how. He just is like, I am going to completely embrace this. Screw becoming immortal and becoming a guardian of the pillar. I am going to maintain my vampirism and live forever.
Yes. Since you brought that up, I've got to ask, since I can probably guess which path you chose. At the end of Blood Omen, you're given a choice. You can either sacrifice yourself to heal the world, or
who wants to do that? I'm gonna die to heal a world that's gonna go to hell anyway. No.
No. Or you can choose to not do that and rule instead.
Right. Does anybody here remember the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game? How many people became a good Jedi? Not that many, I don't think. I think everybody became evil Revan again with a purple and a red lightsaber, and they were cutting people down and like wooing Bastila to the dark side of the Force and all that cool shit. Yeah, that's what we all did. Nobody played as the good guy.
It's more fun to be the villain.
That's right. Also, you get a lot more punani that way too. For those who don't know what that is, don't ask. Not on this stream anyway.
Yeah. Thankfully, Pudgy's not in this stream, so that's okay. that's another word he'd be looking up.
Is that like a jam or a jelly? No. Pudgy.
No, Pudgy, stop. But yeah, I don't know anyone who played the game that went for the, in quotes, good ending. Everyone decided that they were going to be the bad guy.
Adega played the good guy. I played the good guy, you evil son of a... Yeah.
Well, Adega's virtuous. I'm not surprised that he played the good guy. But
I like being the villain.
I was as well. Sorry, Adega.
What I did was I played like a gray character until I found out that I was Revan, and it was like in my own canon, I was like, okay, that's enough to push him over the edge and make him completely fucking evil again. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna be a good guy, but I'm not gonna be a bad guy, but I'm gonna be like, okay, tactically this is the smart thing to do. And I'm sorry that you lost your dog in the town square, but fuck you, I'm not gonna go find it for you. I'm on a mission, and then I just went totally evil. Once he finds out he's Revan, it's like, nope, that's it.
Oh, so you kind of found a way to justify it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Oop. Chat skipped on me. Sorry, guys.
Oh, take it easy, Adega.
Yeah, thank you, Adega. You have a good day. And Jester Sin said, I did the light side first every time after. Sith Lord.
I just, as soon as I met HK, I was like, okay, I love this guy so much, I have to be evil. I'll blast the meat bag and save you the trouble, master. Of course, Loki played the villain. Yeah. So I decided, we got off on Star Wars. I decided at the end of Legacy of Kain, no, I'm gonna live forever, and I'm gonna be the villain, and I'm gonna rule. Fuck me, the good guy.
Yes. Well, I'm guessing that they thought that most people would go that way. Hence, that's why we got Soul Reaver. And I'm very glad that we did, because of the games, I would say Soul Reaver is the one I would recommend most to people.
Yep.
If you were going to pick it up.
Yep. Like I said, I barely even remembered when you do that opening shot. Kain was vilified and became, the ruler of the. I'm like, oh my God, I know him. Where do I know him from? I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. And you're like, holy shit, this is from that other game. I did do the right thing, obviously, because if I took over and I became the ruler, that's where this game picks up. Fuck yeah. All right.
Justification, thank you.
Yes. Yes, it is canon. I made the right choice.
I remember watching that opening cutscene and just being blown away. Even to this day, I can watch it and think, this is really well done.
Well, you know what? I've got. Give me just. I don't think it's copyrighted anymore. I don't know. It's up to you if you want to take the. If you want to.
Yeah, go it. Do it.
Okay, give me just a second. I've got it. Of course, I've got it.
Hello, Project Storytime. Thank you, sweetheart.
I obviously was doing my homework before we did this to do that intro.
Yes, I love that intro.
I have the 4K recreation of that. So
it came in 4K? Seriously?
No. This is something. Yeah, this is something special. Give me just a second.
Awesome.
With machine learning AI. It was remade with machine learning AI. Let me
see, you dangle that in front of me now, and now I want the whole game remade.
There you go. So this is the 4K Soul Reaver intro with machine learning AI.
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord.
Oh yeah, that ain't good.
Kain is pissed.
For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony.
I love the way the camera pans round.
There was only one possible outcome. My eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the lake of the dead. Cast him in. Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded. bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Russia, you are worthy.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes. That was awesome. And yes, that is epic. Thank you. God, that brings back memories.
Yeah, you are worthy. Oh shit! When you memorize a line like that and you do everything to sound exactly like him, there's always a reason for something. And that's because that was like the end of one of the coolest intros to any game ever. I remember showing that to everyone I possibly could, and they were like, "That's amazing! It's like a movie." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's like the beginning of a movie." Yeah, I want to see that movie. Yeah, oh hell yeah, we want to see that movie. And if they ever did it, they would have fucked it up.
Yeah, they would have. There was talk at one point that was it Ulbol had the rights to the Legacy of Kain. You know, the one that does all the video game movies.
Yep.
Luckily, I think he lost the rights, and it never came out because
he never got around to it.
Because I can't imagine. Well, I can imagine it, unfortunately, and it wouldn't have been good. But yeah, animated, I think would look great if they ever did. That would be pretty cool.
Cast back. Get the voice cast back if you can. Get who you can get back. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to kind of chime in with the voice cast, the way they set it up, it was almost like a little play because they had all the actors in the same room together, so they could play off each other. And I think that worked so much better.
They didn't isolate them in a booth. Yeah. Which you can't get today.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that today. Everybody's going to be in a booth. You're not going to have a round table of voice actors, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it works so much better because you can see your fellow actor reacting and you can kind of time it much better. I think even some of the games they showed the extras, so they showed some of the behind the scenes footage.
Yeah,
and to see them kind of going through the lines and kind of goofing off was pretty awesome as well. But yeah, the rest of the game doesn't have that quality of cinematic for Soul Reaver, but it still has the cutscenes and they still work really, really well. I think the one thing that a lot of people didn't like was the puzzle element for Soul Reaver.
The ending was like completely jacked too.
Yes, if I remember correctly, Loki, you could probably, if I'm wrong, say they rewrote the ending originally.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to kill Kain.
Mm-hmm.
And Raziel was going to be presented with a choice.
Hey!
But they changed it. So what they did was you encountered the necromancer that created Kain.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you travel through time. And he's like, you don't know anything. You don't know. You think you know, but you don't know anything. So you're going to travel through time and you're going to stop all this from happening. And the way you do that is you kill Kain, but you don't kill Kain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he wants you to kill Kain, but Kain's like, no, you don't need to kill me. This is what's really going on.
Yes.
Trust me or don't. And that's what Defiance is all about, is like traveling through time with Kain instead of it just being Raziel.
Yep. Absolutely. I think even Raziel's creator, Amy Hennig, she had something to say about him, didn't she?
Yeah, she called him an annoying little twit. Go, Spike and Madness. Or Mischief. I'm sorry. I old named you. Spike and Mischief. Yes, sir. Skull, brother.
Skull.
Yeah, Amy Hennig called him an annoying little twit.
I thought that was a little bit harsh. I I can kind of see where she's coming from, but at the same time, it's just how he's written. As the games go on, you realize that he's a very special character. He's not just this kind of one-dimensional out for revenge,
Yeah,
self-righteous
self-righteous bastard.
Yeah.
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 Which he comes off as through almost all of Soul Reaver, the original game. He
Mhm.
comes off as this self-righteous, I'm gonna get revenge, I'm better than you, I'm gonna kill you all kind of guy. And as the games progress, you realize no, he's very different. He's
Mhm.
very, very different. He can become whatever he wants to become.
Yes, he just has a habit of being easily manipulated by outside forces.
Yes.
Whereas Kane's the almost complete opposite and just doesn't listen to anybody but himself.
Yep. Kain knows best. And Raziel was a seraphim. He was a vampire hunter.
Mhm.
Listen to his order. The Hylians, were they the Hylians? They were banished from Nosgoth.
Mhm.
And the vampires, the race that the vampires were, which you never find out the name, they're just known as vampires. They were inflicted with a blood curse, always to be immortal and to always drink blood. They weren't always like that, whatever race the vampires were. So you had the Hylians, the vampires, and the humans. And when the vampires banished the Hylians from Nosgoth, the Hylians sicked the curse on them.
Yes, there was one other twist to the curse that caused the vampires almost to die out. They could no longer have children. They were sterile.
Yep.
That's why they had to pass it on to humans.
Couldn't go into the sun, couldn't go into water. There was all these do's and don'ts that completely changed the way they were. And Raziel, of course, because of the blue, he was a Hylian.
Mm-hmm.
He was also like destined to be both, the savior of both. See, in one of the games, you find out that okay, you've got Kain, who's destined to be a savior, and then you've got Raziel, who's destined to be a savior. Neither one of them, that's wrong on both accounts, because Raziel goes into the Soul Blade.
Yes.
Because of that, he's like the wild card in all of it. He can choose his own destiny. He is not bound by fate.
Yes, and for the longest time, Raziel is actually ignorant to this. He doesn't realize that he has a choice, which is so frustrating to Kain, because Raziel will not listen to him, but he'll listen to everybody else and get manipulated by everybody else and do the wrong thing. And I love that quote, Spike in Mischief.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is from the end of Blood Omen.
Given the choice whether to rule a corrupt and failing empire or to challenge the fates for another throw, a better throw against one's destiny, what was the king to do?
Indeed. And do what everybody does, choose to rule.
Choose to rule. And find a way. Don't be tied down to this. Well, this is the only way. I want to tell you guys something. I had long talks with our good friend Adega. Long talks. And given the choice between, well, what do I do? Do I do this and go down this unknown road, or do I bend the knee and conform to how they want me to do something? Don't do either. Pick your own way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your own way to go. Don't listen to what they want you to do, and don't play by these rules either. Go do it your way.
Don't take the easy route, and don't let others tell you what you should do. Absolutely.
There's watching that end of Star Trek was so much bullshit. They gave that line of, oh, she didn't do it a man's way, she did it her way, whether it was right or wrong. they're gonna try and make you think that. They're gonna try and make you like believe that. But she did it their way. She didn't do it her way. She did it the SJW way. That's all.
Yes.
There's nothing to be excited or proud of for that. That's conforming and taking it the easy way. Oh, we're gonna come out with this show and we're just gonna bend the knee at every point to woke feminism, and that'll get us attention. Instead of building something on its own merits, instead of building something from the ground up like these people did. They built something from the ground up out of nothing. They built a wonderful series that should have continued. It was dumb that they didn't ever finish this series and give us a true yes. This is what happened. They could still. I hope one day they will.
Oh yeah, they still open, you know, and I think as we were saying in the beginning, if the rights were picked up, I think there's enough of a core fan base there to get the ball rolling, to, you know, entice more people in, because I used to know a lot of very hardcore fans of this game, and they are passionate, you know.
Oh yeah. And they could totally spin this. I mean, you could have like Michael Burnham on the throne. And Raziel comes in. You know, I am Raziel, first blue hair of Her Majesty's SJW wokeness. And you know, oh well, wow. Raziel came up with an original idea and got thrown in the pit. Wait, what? You're not going to take an IP and destroy it? You're going to come up with a whole new idea? To the pits of despair with him. And you know, he could come back and have his revenge because he had an original idea and nobody wanted to listen to it. I could see that happening.
So that I would play.
Oh shit! You mean you're not going to be a plank of wood? No, of course not. To the death. You execute him.
Off with his head.
Good actor and with an original idea. Fuck, we can't have that.
They did actually try, as a side note, to try and kind of bring the series back, but they did it in such a strange way. The game Nosgoth, exactly. Yeah, even Fat Steven mentioned it earlier. Did you ever play that game?
A year of beta testing.
Oh, it's Manable. Sorry, sweetheart.
A year of beta testing. 1 year of beta testing. I think it was like March to May of the next year. And they never got it out of beta testing. It was up for like a year and that was it.
Yeah, they never seemed to know what they actually wanted to do with it. As I say, it was a PvP game, which none of the games had been before. All the other games are first person, you know, action adventure. They follow a story, and it's very kind of told as, you know, the story unfolds as you play. But Nosgoth was just, it was vampires versus humans, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and it was before its time, or maybe after. I don't know. Trying to make it an MMO though was the wrong idea. They should have just made another game.
They should have.
Make your other game. You just make your conclusion to Defiance or whatever it was called.
It was Defiance, yeah, absolutely.
Make your conclusion to that and end the series on a high note. You know, have let Kain and Raziel as humans, not knowing what's going to happen next. That would have been cool. I would have paid money for that. What's going to happen next, Kain? I don't know, Raziel. We're in a strange new fucking world and we're all human. You know, I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen. I would have paid money to see that ending.
Yeah, or as you say, to go back in time, because there's big chunks of history as you know, the world, the Nosgoth unfolds, that we just don't know what happened. We don't know much about the ancient vampires before they became vampires. There's a big chunk of history that you mentioned with the Seraphon.
Yep. Yeah, 3,000 years. You've got 3,000 years of story that's like unknown. You've got plenty of playthrough to where you could be like, we're not even gonna like key in people on the fact that we're gonna reveal Kain and Raziel, at the very end of this game, you could have them going into this temple, this underground temple or something, and shining a light and seeing Kain on one side and Raziel on the other side, and not knowing that this entire time you've been walking up to a point where you're actually going to be in a game with Raziel and Kain. This third person, this third entity that finds out about the two of them, that pulls them into existence, would be really fucking cool.
That would be cool, just to kind of tie it in together.
Yep.
Yeah, that would work really well, actually. I'd love to see that. I know what I was going to ask you. You're a swordsman, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Soul Reaver, the sword?
I love it. I would love to have one. I don't know about Raziel's. That's like, you can't get rid of it. I mean, what would you do? You like go into the grocery store and you like cut it in half by accident. You're like, son of a bitch, go away. And it just has a mind of its own. Raziel, that annoying little twit Raziel talking to you. No, I do not want those types of paper towels, Loki. Oh God, it'd be a pain in the ass. But Kain's sword, oh yeah, I'd totally have that.
Oh, good, yeah. I would love to have a life-sized replica of the Soul Reaver.
I'm sure. Give me like 2 seconds. I bet you I can find you a real. Give me 2 Soul Reaver.
It's such a distinctive looking blade as well. I think it's called a flamberge blade. Yeah. So it's the kind of wavy design, but it's such a huge sword because it's supposed to be a two-handed weapon, but Kain's so big that he just holds it in one hand. But it just looks iconic.
Boom. Found one.
Found one?
Found one.
Oh my gosh.
Soul Reaver build. Cough, cough, click this, cough, cough. You can get one built for you on Patreon. And it's huge. Give me just a second and let me.
Might be asking for that link after the show. Thank you.
Let's see. Soul Reaver sword replica. There you go. If you want to share that or not.
Yeah. Yes, that's it.
And it's huge. Check this shit out. I mean, that's like massive.
Yeah, that's almost as big as I am.
Damn. It's like shit fire. You want one. So cough Patreon for more regular updates. Check out my Facebook page. Yes, you can buy them through that link. Awesome. Cough, click this, cough. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you can buy one. I'll make you one. Just click it. Contact me and I'll make you one. On the down.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
Wink, wink. There's God. Look at that one.
That looks awesome.
I mean, I
would love to have.
You just put that on your wall. And, yeah, I've seen a couple of these. That's off of that's the sword Conan has in Red Sonja.
Red Sonja, yeah, because that's Red Sonja's outfit, such as it is.
Or is that her sword? I don't know.
I think that's all of Red Sonja's.
Yeah, that's Conan's sword, I think. Anyway, we'll stop sharing. If there's a weapon, I know where to find it. We'll find it. You want a weapon, Loki will find out who's got it and get it.
Did you think that Raziel's sword was very reminiscent of a lightsaber?
Kind of, yeah. It just sucked. Anytime you got touched, it went away, and you were like, "Well, there went my sword. Great.
Gotta go eat something to get my sword back." Yeah. And Colin P. Smith says, "Flamberge, name for that very flame shape." Yep, yes. Absolutely.
And Man of War, yeah, they were supposed to make a series thousands of years after Kain and Raziel, which had none of the original characters. You just don't do that. You just don't do that.
Yeah,
you don't slap the characters in the face, and you don't make something without any. Yeah,
no. Dead Sun got quite far into production as well before they pulled the plug on it, which was very strange. But again, like you say, I'm not really sad that they did because it had nothing to do with the OG characters.
Well, there was also a SG1 game that was almost fucking finished. It was so close to being finished, and you got to play as you got to be a member of SG1. You got to fly a death glider. You got an invisibility cloak thing. You got a Jaffa staff. You got all this cool shit. You got to meet the Asgard, and they just trash canned it. And there was like no. It was just like, yeah, we don't think anybody's going to buy it. It's cost us $20 million already to make it, and we don't think anybody's going to buy it, so we're just trash canning it. And you're like, damn, just give us the game. You'll find out who will buy it and pay for it and play it. Just give it to us.
Yes, it's like sometimes they just don't have the faith in the fans that they're actually going to buy it. That's a shame.
Good, we will buy it. If it's
yeah.
Good. Oh yeah. There's a reason I own every Star Wars game ever made, and I've owned it probably twice. At least, at the very least twice. So it's just
fans support things. That's what we keep saying.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works, huh?
Yeah, weird, isn't it? How that works? Yeah, give people what they want, they buy it.
Yep,
crazy. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Loki, for joining.
Oh hell yeah! Thank you. I don't get to talk about shit like this with anybody.
No, it's to say you're one of the few people that knows of these games and has actually played them. I was like, oh my god! If one of these days we're going to have to actually sit down and talk about them and tell people why we love them so much.
Yeah. It's the characters, the voice acting, the story, the way they put everything together. Even the later games that weren't I don't talk about them much because I only played them once. I didn't go back and play them over and over and over again like I did with Soul Reaver and the original Legacy of Kain. That's because those first two games were so damn good. They even said,
oh, well, we wanted to move away from the vengeance and the boss battles.
And I'm like, no, you fuckers, that's what made it good.
That's what we liked in those games. Damn it.
The puzzles and the bosses and the challenge and the oh shit, how's he gonna get past this? And the rest of the games, you're just like, oh, we'll throw a big guy in a suit of armor in there, and you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, so that's what happened in a couple of the later games. You had less big boss battles, but more kind of group battles. It just wasn't the same.
And very linear. Go from A to B to C to D to E. Yeah.
There was no kind of being able to go off the beaten track and find little bits that the developers had hidden away. Because I remember in Soul Reaver, there was this whole extra area. There was the city where the humans were hiding out that you could get to that you didn't know about. And then there was what was his name? Nupraptor, the guy that actually went crazy and caused the pillars to fall.
Yep.
You could find his area. That was from Blood Omen.
Yep.
So definitely, if you guys can play these games, we would highly recommend them. At least the first two.
Yeah. The first one, I know you can emulate the Soul Reaver. I know you get to do the Dreamcast one. If you can get a Dreamcast, if you have a Dreamcast, get the game. If you don't have a Dreamcast, but you own the game, you can emulate it legally because you own the game. So as long as you own the game, you can play the game, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, that's the best way. Go that way over the PC version because the PC version has issues. Whereas the Dreamcast emulated, holy shit, does it look good? It plays good. It sounds good. Yeah. So.
Listen to Loki, guys. He knows what he's talking about. I actually did have the Dreamcast version when it originally came out. I also had it on the PlayStation. So,
I just had the PlayStation.
Copies.
I remember getting the Dreamcast for Christmas, and that was the first game I bought for it. Even though I'd played it on the PlayStation, I was like, oh my God, I've got to have it on this because it looks so much better.
Yeah, I missed the Dreamcast, I've got to admit.
Yeah.
Good console. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Loki. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Would you be up for doing a couple more to
Yeah.
talk about the other games at some point?
I would love to. I would love to.
Awesome. That would be great. Thank you. I appreciate it. What have you got coming up?
Oh shit. We've got Morning of Mischief coming up in the morning. I know I'm gonna burn something to the ground. I don't remember what it is. I'll remember before the end of the night because I gotta post it. I've got it written some down there in my notes. Big thank you to Starry-Eyed Girl for sending me a book that says Loki's shit list on it. I get to write my ideas down in this Loki shit list, and I'm like, you sons of bitches that made Star Trek Discovery. I think we're going to talk about Star Trek Discovery not having a 4th season. I know that's going to be part of it. It's going to be a rant day. Monday morning is going to be a rant morning. So we're going to rant.
That's a good way to kick off the week.
Always a good way to kick off the week.
Oh, brilliant. Wow. Thank you, Loki. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Loki, link is in the description. Please do, because he has a fantastic channel. And it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a good day, guys. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night.
Later, everybody.
Bye.